half asleep. We're on our way to Merrijig for a rodeo.
Rodeo.
No, is that Rodeo Drive or Rodeo? Rodeo Drive. Is it Rodeo?
I think it's a rodeo.
Anyway, you know how they say, this ain't my first rodeo? This is my first rodeo.
Ain't my first rodeo.
You've been to one before?
I've been to a rodeo in Texas.
Oh, really?
I was actually in San Antonio for a conference.
Yeah.
And a colleague of mine told me about a rodeo that was on. And she wanted to go and said, would you like to go? 'Cause she knew I liked traveling and I liked America and seeing different things. But we needed to get a rental car.
Yeah.
So we hired a rental car.
Where'd you hire?
Just something. It wasn't anything too fancy.
Oh, okay.
We hired a rental car just so we had something to drive. They came to pick us up from the hotel. The problem was we were chatting a lot on the way to the rental car company, where you then going actual pick up the car. And I didn't really take too much notice. Only like I do sometimes navigate my way back through remembering landmarks, and luckily I did, because I couldn't remember the address of the hotel where we were staying, but more importantly, I could probably have looked that up, but I couldn't remember where we hired the car from. And when we went to the rodeo, the person that was with me, she was flying back to Sydney that day. We had her luggage already in the car. So I went to the rodeo, and then on the way back, I dropped her off at the airport. And then I had to drop the car back to the car rental company. And I couldn't remember where this car rental company was that we picked it up, because we'd been just chatting in the car. But I remembered some vague landmarks. So I actually went back to the Marriott where we were staying and navigated my way back just by memory and found the rental car company to return the car.
You're amazing. Whenever we go somewhere, I have to take a photo of where I park my car, because I'm renowned for losing my car in car parks and thinking that it's been stolen and someone's taken it.
Yeah.
So whenever we go somewhere, Kevin navigates, and he always teases me and says, do you remember which level we were on? And that forces me to remember where we've left the car, but I trust him to always get me back home safely.
She'll normally remember that we parked next to a green tree.
No, that's not true.
Well, I think it was electricity posts, and we parked next to electricity posts. Something that's going to keep repeating and not be consistent. So
that's not true. I remembered when we went to the caravan show where we parked our car.
That's because I made a point of asking you. So where do we park? Next to where? So you had something to remember as a landmark.
Oh, you make it sound like I'm always getting lost. I don't get lost when I'm not with you.
No, she once rung me when I was at home. She'd been on a business trip and just arrived back at the airport. And
Hangry airport.
Yeah, she was in tears. Someone's stolen my car. And she had a little Holden Barina, nothing to sort of you'd imagine anyone would want to steal. Anyway, she said, you've got to come to the airport and pick me up. I said, you sure you just haven't gotten confused where you've parked it? No. I've looked. Definitely, my car's been stolen. So I drove to the airport so I could go and pick her up, found her. And I said, so where did you think you parked it? And she told me where she thought she parked it. So we went virtually to the same place where she thought she parked it, just on another level. And the thief moved it from like the first floor to the third floor in the identical spot. And it was amazing. No damage to the car. They hadn't broken the lock on the door. Just, she was able to drive it home.
I have never lived that story down.
No. But then again, what about when you went to Crown Casino? She couldn't find her car at Crown.
But Crown is huge.
Yeah.
Can I take this box from you guys?
Oh, no. I'm using it. Leave my phone on. Just a second. We'll be almost finished.
That's okay. I just wanted to put...
Yeah, so at Crown, she couldn't find her car. I don't even know I don't think you called me on that event. I think you were after the airport.
Security.
You called security. And they've got like those little golf carts.
That drive you around.
And they eventually found your car there too. Yeah.
What do you say? My car's not
worthy
of being stolen.
On the other hand, I have a funny story about car getting stolen. When I was younger, I had a Tirana, and I used to drive it to the train station and then catch the train to work. And it was nothing special. Like, it wasn't a really flashy car.
We're talking about how long ago were you driving the Tirana?
would have been 1989, 1990, somewhere around that time frame. And I used to catch the train back to the station, and normally when you come into the train station, you look out the window and I could see my car in the car park. This time I couldn't see it, and I roughly knew where I would always park it, and it was gone. Someone stole my car. And then the funniest thing is, about 3 weeks later, the car returned back.
In the same spot?
Not in the same spot, but back to Thomastown Station. And, I mean, they'd broken the steering thing and everything else, but obviously they must have gotten from somewhere wherever they were going by train, and then went back to catch a train, probably back into the city, wherever they were heading. So, yeah, I mean, I had reported it stolen, never thought I'd see it again, and found it myself at the train station.
You're able to tell me with how the Australian one?
It was pretty big.
Yeah.
Lots of competing, and
Like,
I remember that.
Did they have what they call that thingy? They go and they mustering.
No, more the ones that were riding the bull.
The bull and then they fall off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was lots of shops selling the leather boots, typical
really?
sort of cowboy boots, and most of the guys there, they were all dressed like kind of cowboys with their cowboy hat, cowboy boots, even spurs on their shoes.
And do they talk like?
They are
very loud,
very cowboyish. Yeah, I don't know what this one will be like, but it'll be interesting.
Well, we left home at 11:30. What time is it now on your phone? And I was falling asleep. I always fall asleep in my car on long drives. I just can't keep my eyes open. So I thought, I was going to stop off in Mansfield and have a Coke. And, well, I'm trying to fast and only have one the other day at night. And it worked really well for the last 2 days. But then being stuck in the car and then stopping in Mansfield to get a bottle of Coke, and they had all these beautiful desserts. And this is a hazelnut chocolate cake, and it's just delicious.
It was flourless as well.
Well, apparently, maybe I got it confused with the frangipani that was flourless, but we'll see how this one goes. Very nice. That's right. Yeah, much of a sweet tooth. Oh.
Yeah, I had breakfast at home.
Yeah, I didn't. That's why I'm probably hungry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've taken a little break in Mansfield, and coincidentally, they're having some sort of farmers market.
More like a craft market, I think.
Yeah, and I think we missed the farmers market section because it's almost 2 o'clock now. And
almost 1 o'clock.
Almost 1 o'clock. And they just have a lot of pottery on display, which I've taken some footage and I'll show you a little bit of that. It's just so beautiful to see how creative and clever some people are and what beautiful things they can make with their hands out of stoneware, I suppose, or ceramic or something like that.
Clay.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll catch you later. I wonder if my shoes will remain pristine white by the end of the day.
For concentration there, let's just wait for that nod. It's everything be perfect. Off now. Plenty of pace there in the back of the arena. Loops and loop, but unfortunately she'll let the stick. Good start here from the young Cowboys. He heads down across the arena, but unfortunately just ours in Queensland. Heads across the arena, gets off balance but lands it nicely. Let's watch him go down. Steers out, Jackson's off. Good start here from the Queensland Cowboys. He heads across the arena, round to the fence, handles the turns beautifully. Look at that, Jackson Dixon puts on a clinic. He will get another qualified ride in. The Queenslanders lining up here today, ladies and gentlemen. Down the arena, Luke goes out, but Luke goes down.
Hello and welcome back. I realised that we never wrapped up the vlog yesterday of the rodeo. So
I think it's Rodeo.
Now you think it's Rodeo?
Yeah, because years ago, it used to be a Holden Rodeo. It wasn't a Holden Rodeo. And it's spelled the same.
I don't know, guys. Weigh in here. Is it Rodeo or Rodeo? let me know in the comments below, because this is getting a little bit contested here.
Well, like when we went to America, we went to
Rodeo.
Rodeo Drive? Or was
No,
it
Rodeo Drive. So is that an American thing, Rodeo Drive or rodeo? But no, but the saying is, this ain't my first rodeo. So it's rodeo.
I don't know, maybe it's both. Maybe it's...
What do you feel like?
Yeah,
What do you feel like?
tomato.
Feel like that. So basically what happened yesterday, we went to the rodeo, and look, the main event didn't start until 5 o'clock, and by 3 o'clock we'd had enough of the heat, the sun, the lack of the seats. Apparently you have to bring your own seats at these events, and we weren't aware of that. It was our first time.
It was our first rodeo.
Exactly, it was our first rodeo. So we just turned up expecting to have seats and maybe shade. There was none. There was no shade. There was no seats. It was all BYO, everything. And for $35 a ticket, I thought that was a little bit poor. But anyway, obviously that's to cover their setup costs and liability insurance and things like that. So that's all good. We did enjoy seeing some of the junior.
Yeah, the kids were good.
The kids were really good. I mean, they get so involved and so passionate about it, and they get so disappointed with themselves when they miss, throwing the loop and catching the cow. And anyway, the ball.
When they on the steer, they've got to be on for 8 seconds.
For 8 seconds, which seems like, not long, but when you're trying to hold on for dear life, that was a long time. So that was really good. I'll insert some footage so you can all see, in case you've never been to rodeo, and you can see what it was like. So on the way back, we had planned on going to an antique store that I had seen on the way through Flowerdale, or something like that. Or thereabout in that area, between Flowerdale and Yea. And anyway, what happened was, on our way back, we stopped off at Yea.
Yeah.
On the way back, because they were setting up for a night cruise, and so there were all these beautiful 1950s, 1960s cars, American cars that Kevin loves.
Yeah, it was the Yay cruise night. I'm not sure if that's just because they get really excited and that's fun.
They go, yay!
Yay, cruise night.
So we were coming up to Yay. Kevin's just driving, and I'm sort of snoozing, because I get sleepy in car drives, and suddenly he goes,
"Yay!"
What?
The sign said "Yay," so I was celebrating it. We're finally in Yay.
So yes, and they woke me up from my little doze.
Mind you, it's something I do every time we go to Yay, and you always forget it. So I always have to remind you of it.
That's why I love you, because it's always fresh. The jokes are always fresh and new with me, because I've got a 2-second memory like Nemo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we stopped off there, and I'll show you some of the photos that Kevin takes. To me, they always look exactly the same cars, right? So after the 10th photo, I think I've seen that one, it looks the same. He'll take 500 photos, because to him, they're always new and different.
I appreciate the cars, and I appreciate the effort some people put in. That ute that I saw was amazing.
Yeah.
But honestly, it looked as good as, if not better, probably than when it rolled out of the factory.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. Yeah.
So if you have a husband who's passionate about cars, and I know there's a few of you there, watch for the next footage, because, there were some beautiful cars there to be seen. And then we headed back home, and I was planning on wrapping up the video when we got home, but he got dehydrated. Tell him. So what happened was, I've started very loosely. This is like the 3rd day, okay, of fasting, intermittent fasting. So what I do is I only have 1 meal a day, which is my night one, and in the morning I just have a coffee to get my mind woken up. And so what happens is, during the day I might have a coffee. Anyway, yesterday we went to this coffee shop in Mansfield.
At 1 o'clock, so around lunchtime.
And he said, I'm not hungry because I had breakfast only just before we left. He had bacon and eggs. And I said, I'm good. I'll just have a drink because I need something to pep me up. And I was going to get a Coke, but I'm fasting, so I won't eat anything. Anyway, I went to have a look at the display, and of course I have a terrible sweet tooth, and a cake grabbed my attention. So I thought, oh well, I'll buy it, and he can share it with me. So I came back to the table to share with him.
Well, it would ruin my appetite, because I wasn't really hungry. And then if I have a cake, then when I am hungry, I'm not really going to want to eat. It's going to throw out my day. So I'd rather wait till dinner. But then you've had a cake, so when we're driving home, you're not really that hungry. And I'm starting to get...
He's hangry. He says, what do you feel like for dinner? Shall we get some fish and chips?
Only because I know we've been out all day and she won't want to cook, so let's grab some takeaway. Charlotte, our daughter, had just come home from work, so I thought, well, let's grab some dinner on the way home. Knew the direction we were going, and there's a fish and chip shop that
makes nice fish and chips.
On the way.
If you're in Doreen, Captain
Cove or something, I think it's called.
something like that. They make the best.
Next to the United.
Next to United Petrol Station, yeah. So anyway, so he says to me, look them up and order it. So I get motion sickness. So if I'm reading on my phone, I start getting woozy. And he says to me, and so I said to him, what would you like? He says, oh my goodness, if I have to do it myself, I might as well pull over and do it myself. I'm like, well, no, but I'm getting motion sickness. So rather than scrolling through, tell me what you want. Otherwise, we can just go there and literally it'll take them 10 minutes to make it. Anyway, Kevin, when he's hungry, stay clear of him.
It was just an easy thing to request to ask you. You seem to have no problem being on your phone when you're replying back to people's messages while we're driving. How come you don't get motion sickness with that?
That's quicker. Anyway, so we got home, had fish and chips, and he just crashed on the couch. So I thought, oh, well that's it. He had a headache.
Some Panadol.
Yeah.
After dinner and just had a bit of a lie down. Didn't even think I was going to fall asleep. You said I slept for about an hour.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Obviously needed it.
Yeah, and then we went to bed early. So anyway, so today's a whole new day. I'll wrap up this video. Did we say everything we wanted to say? Oh, the reason why and how I found out about this rodeo, you were going to ask me.
Oh, yeah. How did you find out about this rodeo? Rodeo.
That is so non-scripted. You forget my script. I have to train you. So I went for a walk with a new walking group on Friday, and one of the ladies said that she was going to this rodeo. And I thought, oh, I've never been to one. So, you know, let's drag Kevin out. We weren't doing anything yesterday, so let's go and explore and see what a rodeo is like. We like going on day trips and driving through country Victoria. It's fun. You never know what you're going to find, and it's enjoyable, isn't it?
I must admit, everyone says everything's bigger in Texas, but the rodeos in Texas are very, very different level.
Yeah.
The place that I went to in Texas to watch it had almost like if you go to a football stadium. So they had proper stadiums where you could sit down and sit and watch undercover. In the bottom sections where they had a lot of retail shops, that's where they were selling like the cowboy boots and leather belts and all that sort of stuff, as well as food. It was really well done. For something in the middle of, literally felt like it was in the middle of nowhere, very similar to like where we went yesterday, but obviously they hold a lot of events there. So whereas this one here in Australia, I think probably this is like an annual thing.
But I think it's more of a community event. There are it's a very family-friendly environment, lots of kids, lots of family with young kids, lots of grandparents. It had a really nice community feel about it. Family.
Where the kids looked happy out wearing their cowboy hats.
Stetson hats and their cowboy boots and their jeans. Oh, they all looked adorable. So it's a really good event, but it was really hot. It was like 30 plus degrees, no shelter. I mean, our hats were fine, but
they had a small little shaded area. But
but it was a smoking area.
Yeah, well, it was outside.
So anyway, thank you for watching and coming along with us. I hope you enjoyed this little insight into rodeos in Australia. Until next time.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.